The one guy who was told what to do was the farmer. He became more efficient, he became more productive or whatever. And now he's being blamed again because he did what he was told, and he said, what you've done now is you've knocked ditches and you've cut away hedgerows and you've drained bogs and you've made the country far more productive. But no, that's the wrong thing to do because its effects on the environment or whatever.
I don't think this cheap food policy of the EU can continue the way it has been, because it was geared towards intensive production. If we have to produce food at less intensive production, it's going to require extra payment for our product. The government could come up with a plan, or should come up with some plan, to involve all stakeholders, including farming organisations, to realise that we cannot continue producing the product at the price that it has been with the last number of years.
There's no such thing as cheap food. Food is the best thing. It's the only thing you need to survive. Food and air and water, okay? So like, how can someone think that one food is cheap? Like, food is expensive. It's the people that are trying to sell it to you are trying to cheapen it in some way. But like, this is not cheap food. It can't be cheap food.
When I go into a supermarket, you know, I'm just another mom doing the shop, and I'm passing all the aisles, and I'm passing the butter and the cheese and the milk, and I'm looking at the price of it. And I know the hours that I put into, you know, making the raw materials that go into, you know, getting up late at night, you know, calving cows, giving them your all, you know, and doing my best to produce the best quality milk I can, to go and make all these things that you see on the shelves, and then you go and you see them at almost a discounted price, and you're kind of going, I find it very disheartening.
Ultimately, I blame the consumer. I'm a consumer myself, we're all consumers, but what does the consumer want? The consumer wants the best choice, the best product, and they want it at the lowest price. And that's very much facilitated by the retailers and the multiples.
Nowadays, look, we're probably no different to anybody else. We use our own milk. We would kill an animal or whatever and put it in the freezer. But other than that, like when I was growing up, everybody had a garden. You grew your own spuds, you grew your own carrots, you grew your own onions, turnips, cabbage, every single thing. So people were self-sufficient, so they understood where food was coming from. Not only that then, but even people living in towns and cities were probably closer to the land, so they kind of always had a bit of an understanding of that. Whereas nowadays, everything is convenience, fast food. Nobody really knows where the food is coming from. I think most people don't really care. The only thing they're focused on is the price.
If you look at anyone's fridge these days, you know, it's full of food from the four corners of the earth. There's very little local food in it. Even if you go into a health food shop, it's all imported food. And we need to be looking at making what we can grow here, what people want to eat. Like, we have to sell, you know, people when they go to the supermarket to buy, they want to buy some French beans because they don't have to wash them or peel them or anything. You might have top and tail them in, but they don't want to buy a parsnip. So we've got to make kind of parsnip sexier, really, things that we can grow.
At the moment, I think we have a scenario where we've got people, I suppose, on the left that are kind of saying this sector historically has been, you know, polluting. And I guess there's people in the extreme right, maybe in the agriculture piece as well, are kind of saying, oh look, don't mind those guys, you know, they're just, you know, cranks. I would strongly contend we should be working together as opposed to working on opposite sides of the fence.
I think the biggest threat to affecting positive change in agriculture is the narrative around it politically, in a way. I think particularly in a really rural electoral area like mine, or a rural constituency like the one I live in, politicians always avoid talking about farming because they don't want to upset farmers. why can't we have a conversation whereby upsetting farmers is taken out of it? Like, what if we say whatever policy we come up with or whatever solutions we come up with for the future of farming supports the farmer and makes it a kind of desirable occupation? It's one that we definitely need. It's probably the most important occupation in the world. So how about we take that out of the conversation? Farmers are going to do maybe better out of this and be paid properly for their work and for their produce. And now let's have a conversation about policy and how we can go forward with farming in the future.